Hello and welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Series. I am the Crushinator and I will be your host for this evening's matchup between Zul'jin Distillery and Heavy Slaps. We are running late, but our player just got here. They're going to start up this lobby right quick, so let's take you real quick to the tail of the tape. Let you know about our teams before we hit up that draft. Zul'jin Distillery coming into tonight 3-0 on the match record, undefeated on the maps, 6-0. So far, their best maps, Tomb of the Spider Queen at 3-0, Braxis Holdout at 2-0, and their undefeated most played heroes, Leoric, Tychus, and Ana. Heavy Slaps looking for their first match win tonight, coming in 0-3, 1-6 on the map record. So far, their one win has been picked up on Volskaya Foundry, and they've actually played Hanamura twice. A much maligned map, but I've been looking forward to casting it. Maybe it'll come through today. Their 50-50 heroes so far, Leoric, Malfurion, and Hanzo. Let's jump over to the maps real quick here. Battlefield of Eternity, Volskaya Foundry, Tomb of the Spider Queen, and Infernal Shrines were banned away by our teams today. And game number 1 is going to be on Braxis Holdout, as chosen by Heavy Slaps. So let's jump into the draft and see what we can see. Tassadar going to be banned away here by Zul'jin Distillery. Tassadar, very high wave clear, very important here on Braxis Holdout, and with that very long-range shock ray on the Q, is a big player in terms of controlling that point. Pretty much all of his abilities are fantastic at point control. So taking the big Protoss off the board. Understandable. Heavy Slaps is going to ban away the Ana. Ana's done very well for Zul'jin Distillery, done very well for pretty much every team in general. Ana's doing fantastically in Heroes of the Storm right now, but especially at the higher levels of organized play. Mei will be banned away by XGD. Mei, synonymous with point control. Looks like they want to make sure to win this bottom point battle, considering their current ban strategy. Heavy Slaps. Chromie is still open. Chromie's a big one here on Braxis Holdout that we tend to see quite a bit, even more now that Chromie's really good. But it's going to be D.Va banned away. D.Va has been honestly terrorizing NGS in general so far. But it will be Garrosh that's first picked. There's some definitely good point control there. Imbuement is going to respond with the Kael'thas, so I doubt they're going to go KT and Chromie. Makes me wonder if Zul'jin Distillery is going to pick that up, and Frostbite's going to grab an early Muradin here. Interesting to see Muradin picked so highly here. Must be a comfort, or maybe they've got a different sort of strategy in mind. Muradin can absolutely do some work versus Garrosh, just because he does not mind being thrown into the backline at all. Cowboy Kyle is going to pick up the Rexar, and B-Fresh is going to be playing Tychus. Rexar, pretty much the undisputed champion of solo lane point control. There are some very specific counters, depending on style of play, depending on, your skill with heroes. I think Kira's a fantastic Rexar counter, but that's a pretty high skill matchup. I'd like to take Artanis into Rexar personally, but it's hit or miss. You really got to hit the swaps, and you got to rely on Rexar's body to move a little bit outside of where it should be. So we'll see what the response is going to be from Heavy Slaps as they go ahead and ban away the Orphea. Just a solid backline mage with Tassadar. Tassadar taken out, so there's not going to be any Orphea. And Kael'thas cleared away as well, so really limiting the mage options here is Heavy Slaps. Chen going to be banned away. Chen does some work into Rexar. Yeah, just because Chen can go in there, survive pretty much any kind of damage that Rexar's dishing out. So just sort of removing potential options here is Zul'jin Distillery. Urel still on the board. Phoenix coming in for Lupus 64. We'll have to see whether that's a solo lane or a four-man Phoenix. And Crazy Buttes is going to grab the Anduin. Phoenix can do some solo work. I don't know how good that's going to be versus a Rexar, though Machu could still be bringing in the solo lane pick for last. So we'll have to see what Heavy Slaps is bringing out for their plan. Ankle Shot and Lead going to be rounding out the team here for Zul'jin Distillery. They're looking for a mage. They're looking for a healer. It's going to be Vala. Kind of magey. And Led's going to play the Brightwing, so looking for that global presence, able to aid the top lane when possible. Go ahead and type those in. Was not expecting the Brightwing, honestly. There's definitely some value there if you've got the crisp rotations ready. I was expecting a Stukov, to be honest. Stukov or Malfurion, but picking up the Brightwing for a different sort of game plan here is Led. And Matthew is going to have the Leoric versus the Rexar in the top lane, so it will be a Phoenix down in the bottom lane with the group. I think that's a better matchup for sure. Leo does slowly lose that matchup over time, I think, but can clear the lane really well and can stand on the point for quite a while, just putting the Drain Hope on the bear. So we'll have to see how that goes. Game number 1, Zul'jin Distillery versus Heavy Slaps here on Braxis Holdout. Let's get into it. Alrighty. Loading into Braxis Holdout. On the left in the blue is Zul'jin Distillery, with B Fresh playing the Tychus. DeWitt is on Garrosh, Led is on the Brightwing, Ankleshot is playing Vala, and Cowboy Kyle is on the Rexar. On the right in the red, we have Heavy Slaps with Crazy Buttes playing the Anduin. Imbuement is on Kael'thas, Frostbite 027 on the Murden, Lupus 64 on the Phoenix, and Matthew on the Leoric.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Game number 1 is underway. Taking a look at the early talents, it is going to be the advanced targeting. The Q talent for Phoenix, looking for stacks on level 1. Kael'thas going to be looking for those globes. And Led's still thinking about it. Lupus throwing some sugar my way in the chat. DeWitt discovers Frostbite, gets the big throw onto Murden, but the Dwarf Toss is there. That's a lot of counter damage onto Garrosh. DeWitt having to move on back. Led going in with the big heal on the teleport early on. And Heavy Slaps put out some big damage to start off with, but Imbuement up the Kael'thas is thrown in. Crazy Buttes is there with the Leap of Faith. And these teams are swinging right out the gate. Checking in on the top lane, Matthew is in a little bit of trouble up here. Cowboy Kyle putting on the pressure there with Misha and heading up to grab that first orb spawning from the generator. The throw onto Murden is good again. The polymorph not coming out quite in time to stop the dwarf launch. DeWitt gets the stun onto Crazy Buttes. Heavy Slaps has been definitely slapping back with these engages, putting some good damage onto DeWitt so far. And Brightwing will sort of slow down with the healing later on in the game. We'll see whether Led wants to go into the further spell armor to counter this big spell damage coming out from Phoenix and Kael'thas. Beacons are live. Frostbite moving on to the point of control for the red team. Leoric actually taken out in the top lane. Cowboy Kyle claiming the first blood of the game in the solo lane. Lupus has to warp on out of there. DeWitt on the wrong side of things. Gets healed up with the W, but is that going to be enough? Tychus trying to wail on Murden a little bit, force the Heavy Slaps tank to move back. Leo already back on the field thanks to that death trait. And it looks like only 8% on the objective here for Zul'jin Distillery. They're going to have to look for a greater advantage, and that advantage may be here. As level 4 is about to come in, and still half a level away from 4 is Heavy Slaps. Imbuement accidentally typing in all chat. Lupus managing to warp away. DeWitt forcing back Kael'thas there. And it's actually going to be Heavy Slaps that starts the channel. Leoric has been controlling that point up top very well. Hopefully we'll have a chance to check on them in a second. DeWitt having to try to get away from the slows of Heavy Slaps. B-Fresh and Ankleshot are looking for the flank here. Crazy Buttes slowed down by DeWitt. Looking for the throw, but the cooldown just not there in time. But still forcing back Heavy Slaps is Zul'jin Distillery. Checking back in on the top lane, it looks like Rexar is a little bit ailing for mana right now, trying to keep Misha healed up. Matthew going for the kill with the long drain hope. Here comes Lupus, trying to help cover this lane. Members of Heavy Slaps went back to base. Now they're coming back all fed up. That's a weird way to put it. They've got all their mana back and they're ready to start again. DeWitt warding in that bush, but Lupus is there with the slow. Having to pop the Indomitable to get rid of the slow there is DeWitt. Zul'jin Distillery is going to grab the left side Hellbat camp. But that's going to be more progress here for Heavy Slaps on this objective. Triple stun from DeWitt onto the backline, not managing to actually get the throw onto Frostbite though. Still, Zul'jin Distillery will move to a stalemate on these beacons once again. Frostbite sent into the backline. The stun is good. Has to pop the Gladiator's Medallion. I don't know if Frostbite makes it out. Ooh, the short-range Leap of Faith from Crazy Buttes is enough. And now we're going to see Misha on this point. And this is where Leoric's going to have a tough time, having to use the Wraithwalk to get on out of there. Meanwhile, down in the bottom lane, Be Fresh getting... Well, it was actually Ankle Shot getting the final kill onto Imbuement, forcing back Heavy Slaps. Frostbite could be next here. Be Fresh with the overkill does manage to land the just enough kill. Lupus taking some damage from that multi-shot. Having to pop the well, and now we've got some channel going back over to the side of Zul'jin Distillery as they push down this bottom fort wall. Leoric just battling for lane presence up there, will not be able to get to the point in time, and we are going to have a full blue Zerg wave moving down the bottom lane. Leo going to try to push with the weaker wave in the top into Rexar. Led warping in. There's the throw into Crazy Buttes. That's the kill target they want. Polymorph is there, and Anduin is down. A great pick there by DeWitt, finding the Heavy Slaps healer, and that's going to be a big problem for Heavy Slaps, as they're going to have to move away from this fort here at the level 7 mark. Fort already given up. This Zerg wave still very, very healthy as it's going to move towards this bottom keep wall. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Misha did go down. Cowboy Kyle very low on mana, so Matthew is taking this Zerg wave for what it's worth and really pushing in hard with it. But the big push in the bottom lane is certainly more to deal with. Bottom cannon tower on the keep is down. Second one will be taken out here. That's a pretty healthy advantage there for the first Zerg wave of the game. They've got the entire keep wall down. There's the polymorph onto Frostbite. DeWitt's gonna have to be careful with that bomb. Manages to take it away from Ankle Shot. Here comes Led. They've got the healer back. Looks like the wave clear will be enough here for Heavy Slaps to force Zul'jin Distillery back. Cowboy Kyle managing to save the fort for now. Matthew trying to push on forward, but the constant damage of Rexar and Misha eventually is a little bit too much for Leoric. Speaking of too much for Leoric, here comes DeWitt and Ankle Shot. Ooh, a very nice Wraithwalk from Matthew denies the stun throw combination. And Heavy Slaps is here to counter. They're going to go ahead and grab this right side Hellbat camp while they're here. Zul'jin Distillery picking up the Bruiser camp on the left-hand side, and it looks like these teams will just be focusing on macro for the time being. Speaking of macro, let's take a look at the Experience tab. So we see the hero kills, 4-0 going over to Zul'jin Distillery for the moment. They're also very ahead on minions so far, so that early kill onto Leoric by Cowboy Kyle adding up to a lot here. DeWitt looking to catch Leo on the escape and will do so. There goes Leoric. Matthew going to be draining away to try to get back on the battlefield as soon as possible. Checking in on the heroics, we are now 10-9. It is the Warlord's Challenge, Reign of Vengeance. We do have Blink Heal coming out from Led. It is Bestial Wrath from Rexar, and Draken Laser Drill picked by Be Fresh. Looks like the point of contention will be the top lane here. Zul'jin Distillery has the heroic advantage. They've got the Bruiser camp. So Frostbite trying to push forward with Matthew. Leo is thrown and stunned into the back. The polymorph is there. The stun was good. Oh, and it's actually going to be enough damage. The Leap of Faith countered the taunt by Garrosh, but just too much long-range damage. The Grenade of Tychus finishing off the Skeleton King. Heavy Slaps looking for level 10. They're going to get it with this wave, and just in time for the beacon spawning. Lupus pushing back Cowboy Kyle for now. Frostbite trying to move onto this top point with the rest of Heavy Slaps. Taking a look at the heroic options, it is the Light Bomb, it is the Purification Salvo, Entomb, Haymaker, and Pyroblast. So no avatar for the main tank of Heavy Slaps as they rotate hard onto the side of the map of Zul'jin Distillery. Lupus getting ahead as the rest of Heavy Slaps are going to turn around and try to find DeWitt. The Pyroblast is going to land, and that's a very timely kill for Heavy Slaps as they push down this top lane fort. The rest of Zul'jin Distillery, they're just going to grab the Hellbat camp and let that march down the bottom lane. But they're going to be giving up this top fort, and they're going to have to wait for Garrosh to be back on the battlefield before they can encounter the enemy team. Here comes Frostbite. There's some huge damage onto the enemy tank. The Light Bomb just in case as Muradin has to move away. Matthew is on the chase looking for that big Q. Ankle shot manages to get out of range. Misha sacrificed 2 Heavy Slaps here in order to let the rest of the team get away. DeWitt back on the battlefield with a huge throw onto Muradin, and DeWitt is not done. There's the taunt onto Leoric, forcing out the Leap of Faith from Crazy Buttes. There is the Gladiator's Medallion from Lupus 64, and Tomb to block the chase. Crazy Buttes may not be so lucky though. Led coming in, looking for the Q stack. Oh, Crazy Buttes is just out of overkill range. Be Fresh is going to have to start backing off here. And somehow, Anduin survives. Matthew getting thrown back once again. Leoric having to use the Wraithwalk to try to get away. Grenade not enough this time. But this Hellbat camp was pushing for so long that it got the bottom keep. Cowboy Kyle in the top lane securing that beacon. Meanwhile, the bottom lane already secured by Zul'jin Distillery. And they've got the beacon, they've got the bottom keep, and this could be set up for a game win as level 13 is approaching. Matthew doesn't see them. Misha goes for the stun. Matthew finally sees them in the bush. The throw and the stun is there. The taunt is out, and there goes Leoric again. If you're going to sacrifice anyone for warding, I guess that's a good one, but Ankle Shot going to have to be careful. Frostbite is on the chase. But with Leoric down, it's a 5v4. Level 13 is here. Heavy Slaps is going to have to be very, very careful. They do manage to take the bottom beacon for now. Oh gosh, DeWitt taking a huge amount of damage. The Light Bomb is out. The Pyroblast as well. It's going to hit 2. Pyroblast getting the double kill onto DeWitt and Led, and Heavy Slaps is turning this thing around. Lupus is on the chase. There's the Entomb onto Cowboy Kyle. So that's going to be a kill onto Rexar, a triple kill here for Heavy Slaps, and they're going to have an easy defense here in the top lane. They've caught up on the experience with these late-game hero kills. They're on even talents with 13, and that very well may have saved them the game here. They're going to go up and get this wave clear started. Meanwhile, the remaining 2 members of Zul'jin Distillery just going to go ahead and clear away this bottom lane. That's going to give Heavy Slaps another chance here that was looking pretty grim with the bottom keep already taken out. It looked like the Zerg wave was going to finish things off, but a triple kill coming out for the red team gives them new life here on Brax's holdout. Left side Bruiser camp started by XGD. Heavy Slaps going to go ahead and pick up the right side Hellbat camp. DeWitt just keeping an eye on things, making sure the invasion isn't coming. Frostbite and DeWitt, 2 ships passing in the night. Neither one of them wants the boss, they just want to do their camps. They just want to do their camps in peace. Don't come in here, bruh. Cowboy Kyle just going to clear away that camp in the top lane with the help of those bruisers. Zul'jin Distillery picking up the left side Hellbat. Heavy Slaps picking up the right side bruiser. And it looks like it's just going to be a passive minion camp clear for now. Cowboy Kyle scooting on out of there before the rest of Heavy Slaps could come on through. Heavy Slaps making another very aggressive rotation here. Cowboy Kyle is going to spot Frostbite. The Dwarf Toss is there. There is... Oh, the Haymaker sending Cowboy Kyle back. Led is in. Oh, but that could be trouble. Late Bomb is going to take out Rexar. Led managing to use the Blink Heal to get away. But here comes the Pyroblast. Led going to be trying to put out the Spell Armor. Brightwing's going to survive. DeWitt moving away from Matthew. Ankle Shot playing around the still standing bottom fort wall. So Rexar taken out here, and it looks like Heavy Slaps is going to take the opportunity to move on to the boss. DeWitt sees it coming. Boss is only about half health here. Zul'jin Distillery can absolutely contest this if they want to. DeWitt looking for a throw, starting to move on to the point. And here it is, Frostbite getting very low here. There's the Rain of Vengeance. The fight over the point is on. Crazy Buttes is pushing away Lead. Murden the first to go down. There goes Garrosh. Tanks are gone. And it looks like, oh, Vala gets taken out before Lupus can go down. Brightwing falls as well. And Heavy Slaps get the 3 for 1. They want to find Misha as well. 3.5 for 1. They give up Murden, but they take the boss. Beacons are now activating. And Heavy Slaps is suddenly in control of this matchup. 3 catapults moving the red core down below 90%. Looks like it's going to be cleared away by this minion wave as the boss clears up the trailing creeps. Core down to 70% though. Not quite in, you know, surprise bottom lane push range, but it's getting there. Boss about to be taken out here by Zul'jin Distillery. Here comes DeWitt with the flank, trying to get the Beacon is actually in a little bit of trouble here. Gets the stun, pops the Indomitable, but can't use the Indomitable on the Entomb. Light Bomb is put onto DeWitt as well. Misha in the backline. Oh, DeWitt survives the Haymaker, and Frostbite has to Dwarf Toss on out of there. Polymorph is good onto Machu, and that's going to be it for Leoric. We've got a full red Webweaver, full red Zergwave pushing in the top lane. But this could be trouble, and Buman is slowed down by the Spirit Swoop. They only find the kill onto Leoric, and Zul'jin Distillery is going to have to back and deal with this objective. Frostbite Owl gets the stun onto Be Fresh. Tychus has to try to dash on out of there. Lead gets the Blink Heal. They've managed to stop the backs of 2 members of XGD, but they will not find the kills. Meanwhile, Ankle Shot, DeWitt, and Cowboy Kyle going to try to clear away this Zergwave as it barrels down this top keep wall. Bottom fort will be taken out here by Heavy Slaps. The mini Zergwave is going to be keeping any minions from joining that bottom lane push. It looks like top keep is saved for now, and with no minions to help in the bottom lane, Heavy Slaps is not going to be able to push any further. They're going to have to back off here. So, 2 keeps here for Zul'jin Distillery, 1 keep remaining for Heavy Slaps. This could really go either way at this point. Zul'jin Distillery moving across the middle of the map here. Leoric coming up from the bottom lane. Are they going to see? They're going to see Ankle Shot. The stun is there, the throw is out, the polymorph is good, and there goes Leoric, another kill onto the Skeleton King. And that's enough for Zul'jin Distillery to come in and steal this Bruiser camp. Boss is not up. Was taken during the last objective. Lupus will be spotted by Misha in the bush. Lupus playing with fire a little bit here. DeWitt coming on down to the bottom lane. They're going to use this Bruiser camp to try to create some core pressure here. Still 10 seconds till Machu is back on the field. Going to be spawning onto the enemy team, though. Going to have to spooky walk towards the core, and it looks like Zul'jin Distillery is not going to push their luck. They're just going to move on back and try to paint the map blue here. Stealing away the Hellbat camp. Garrosh going to ward in the bush. Here comes Heavy Slaps. This could be trouble. Lupus leading the way. DeWitt gets the throw onto Frostbite. The polymorph is good, taunting the whole back line. There's the Light Bomb. DeWitt is healed up by Lead, getting the spell armor, and Garrosh is still alive. Cowboy Kyle gonna eat the Pyroblast in the background. Purification Salvo goes out. Ankle Shot's in trouble, though. Vala gonna be the first to fall here. Lupus getting healed up in the backline. DeWitt now taking a ton of damage. Somehow Imbuement is saved by Crazy Buttes once again. That's Garrosh and Misha down. Vala down as well. Heavy Slaps is on the chase. Lead is gonna be next. Cowboy Kyle manages to mount up Be Fresh, being chased down by Frostbite, though. Gets the dash, and it looks like Tychus, with the extra movement speed, is going to get out of there. But what is Heavy Slaps going to do? They're going to go ahead and start this boss that just spawned. While the beacons are activating, it's still 30 seconds till Brightwing is back on the battlefield. Frostbite trying to catch a little bit of that Anduin healing, taking some big damage from the boss here. Having to back on out Cowboy Kyle. Just checking in. Just checking in.
The beacons are now online. Please keep them out of
Beacons are online, but the boss is going to be marching down the bottom lane here for Heavy Slaps. Once again, core pressure from these catapults going to be cleared away by Frostbite. And this is where Zul'jin Distillery is going to have to start dancing around the map. Brightwing is back, so they're back to full strength. Misha going to be moving to the top point. Heavy Slaps being careful to check the bushes before entering. And this is where the dance begins. They're going to need to clear away this boss quickly, though, because it's going to start denying them access to this bottom beacon. Top bruiser camp going to be cleared away by Heavy Slaps. Zul'jin Distillery just wants to keep an eye on these rotations as much as possible while the DPS clears away this boss. Looks like it's going to be cleared away before it does too much significant damage. Right now, Heavy Slaps just kind of maintaining presence in the top lane. They're not going to move across. Playing very cautiously despite their success in teamfights so far. I think they're looking for level 20 before the next advantage. DeWitt moving to the top lane. And Heavy Slaps is not rotating through. That means Zul'jin Distillery is going to start getting progress on this beacon. They still don't have level 20. DeWitt is on the chase. Matthew dismounting Garrosh and then using the Wraithwalk to get away. And it looks like level 20 will be found by Heavy Slaps before the next fight. Zul'jin Distillery does not have enough time to get another fight here. There's level 20. Here they come. DeWitt wants Lupus. There's the throw. Oh, the Gladiator's Medallion is good. Taunt onto 3 in the backline once again. Purification Salvo is out. The Light Bomb catches Ankle Shot. Muradin goes down first, but Vala killed in response. Led is being chased away by Matthew. Be Fresh is on the backline. DeWitt somehow barely still alive. There's the Pyroblast onto Be Fresh. Led trying to get healed up. I think that's going to be enough. Be Fresh is going to survive. Cowboy Kyle will not be so lucky. Rexar is going to go down here. DeWitt, looking for a quick pick, will not find it. Heavy Slaps is going to be moving towards the top lane. DeWitt knows that he needs something, and he needs it now. Matthew cannot get the dismount onto Garrosh. And DeWitt will manage to get away here. Be Fresh is on the chase, though. DeWitt could be in trouble. Oh, is knocked out by Leoric. That's Zul'jin Distillery's tank going down for a full minute. Led, playing it fast and loose. Crazy Buttes does not check the bush, and Led will manage to get away. But that means Heavy Slaps is going to have a big Zerg wave pushing down the bottom lane here. I think Zul'jin Distillery will be up for the defense. 30 seconds till Garrosh is here. Only 70% on this channel so far. Should be a full 5-player defense on level 20. Zul'jin Distillery just picking up the level 20 talents now. Trying to get some lane presence here is Heavy Slaps. They're going to be pressuring both lanes. This Hellbat camp is going to be staving off the top Zerg wave. We're going to have a Bruiser camp alongside this Zerg wave in the bottom lane. That's a pretty lethal push here. DeWitt about to rejoin the battlefield. Be Fresh and Led going to have to start moving back behind the wall, and here comes the big death ball. DeWitt back on the battlefield looking for anyone moving up too far. Frostbite just keeping an eye on this bottom, making sure that they're not getting flanked. This is just so much minions, so much minion pressure coming out. Matthew not finding the Entomb. Be Fresh, the target of the next Pyroblast. There goes Misha. Actually, there goes Leoric. Ankle Shot is pushed in by Frostbite, though, and Vala is down. That's a huge piece of their wave clear taken out. Heavy Slaps is going to start moving towards the core. Be Fresh dashes away with that living bomb, but Rexar will be the next to fall. There goes DeWitt. That's 3 dead for Zul'jin Distillery, and I think this core is toast. Heavy Slaps gets the game number 1 and goes up 1-0 in the series. GG. Heavy Slaps getting just their second map win of the season against the undefeated Zul'jin Distillery, going up 1-0 in this series. Fantastic stuff. 18 kills to 13 for Heavy Slaps in that matchup. Lupus 64 leading the way on the siege, and the hero damage nearly reaching 77,000. Meanwhile, for Zul'jin Distillery, Be Fresh on the Tychus also leading the way in damage numbers. Nearly 73k on the siege and almost 80,000 hero damage coming out from Be Fresh. Take a quick stop over at the talent screen, and then we'll get ready for game number 2. All right, game number one is in the books. Heavy Slaps going up 1-0 there on Braxis Holdout. Can Zul'jin Distillery find an answer, or can Heavy Slaps pick up their first domination of the season? We're going to get ready for game number 2. We're going to go to a short break, and when we come back, the series continues. Don't go far. Hello and welcome back. Game number 2 about to be underway here between Zul'jin Distillery and Heavy Slaps. Heavy Slaps picking up game number 1 there on Braxis Holdout. Little surprise there. We had undefeated versus only 1 map win and Heavy Slaps. They were down a couple times, but they fought back really well, controlled the pace in the late game, and picked up the victory. Fantastic stuff. We are about to have a draft here. So let's head over to the map screen. Remind you of the state of this series. Battlefield of Eternity, Volskaya Foundry, Tomb of the Spider Queen, and Infernal Shrines have been banned away for this series. Heavy Slaps chose to go to Braxis Holdout for game number 1 and took the victory. And it will be Zul'jin Distillery taking us to Dragonshire for map number 2. Dragonshire, definitely a very different style of map from Braxis Holdout. A lot of brawling, a lot of split fights. We might see some rotation type heroes. You see like your Zeratools, your Valiras, your Genjis tend to come out on a map like Dragonshire. It also leans towards Rexxar, which Cowboy Kyle has been known to play quite a bit. So we'll see what the strategy is going to be. Let them know that I am ready. Should have a draft here in just a moment. There we go. Alright. Teams have told me that they're ready. So we're going to be going into Dragonshire here in just a moment. Hope everyone in chat's having a great time today. Checking out this C East matchup. Been doing an awful lot of Division C games. Not fully on purpose, but I just noticed that they tend to schedule stuff when I can cast. So it's been a lot of C. Draft coming up. Here we go on Dragonshire. Interested to see whether we're going to see any respect bans, any map type bans here on Dragonshire. It is Heavy Slaps with the first pick this time. I'm still expecting stuff like Ana and D.Va to be banned away. There's the Ana ban coming in for Heavy Slaps. I'm interested to see whether we're going to have a Phoenix ban, because Lupus played that hero very effectively. Not exactly, I mean, I wouldn't say Phoenix is a particular, like, map pick at this stage in Phoenix's balance, but a good Phoenix can get a whole lot of work done, as we saw in that last game. They decided to take away the Anduin. They didn't like to see all the big saves coming out from Crazy Buttes, so they're going to try to limit that option. D.Va taken away by Heavy Slaps, as is expected. Interesting that Chromie made 0 appearance last game, especially on a map like Braxis. Once again, Mei is banned away, so these teams very solidified in the heroes they do not want to see. So pretty much all of the picks, aside for Anduin from last game, are still available. We'll see what Heavy Slaps wants to put out first. Imbuement is going to go right back onto that Kael'thas for Heavy Slaps. Zildjian Distillery with the response. They can get their Garrosh again if they want it. DeWitt did do some pretty good work there. I think the Anduin was a big counter to what they were trying to do, and with Anduin off the board, it wouldn't surprise me if DeWitt picked up Garrosh again here. But we'll see what the options are. They do have the double pick. They're going to go with ETC this time, and Ankleshot is going to pick up Li Ming. Interesting combination. Li Ming can definitely do some great work here on Dragonshire, just being able to put out such high damage from a safe distance, blink over the walls, things like that. Frostbite gonna grab an early Varian here on Dragonshire. You can definitely get some work done. Crazy Buttes gonna steal away the Brightwing from last game. Once again, sort of not unusual, but a not often seen tank picked up very early for Heavy Slaps. First the Muradin in the first rotation, now the Varian in the first rotation. Greymane gonna be banned away. That's a big part of the execution combo of that Varian taunt, is just to get a big pile of burst from Greymane. Also does well solo on the camps here on Dragonshire. So XGD, guess they were not interested in a double reset that comp. They've got something else in mind. So they're going to take the Worgen leader off the board. Heavy Slaps, they see ETC and Li Ming staring them down. There's already 2 healers banned and they've got theirs, but they're going to take away the Malthael. Interesting. With the Spell Shield of Brightwing and the Shield Wall of Varian, it makes me wonder what they're taking for their last pick. Is this a Cho'Gall? Can I channel some Bahamut here? Could this be a Cho'Gall? We're going to see Uther and Raynor coming out for Zildjian Distillery, so they want the double stun with the big Li Ming blow up, and Raynor to help with the, probably with the camp clear and the wave clear. And just constant damage onto Varian is a very good thing, since you can negate a lot of Li Ming's damage. It is going to be Leoric for Machu once again. And Lupus is going to reprise the role on the Phoenix. Makes me wonder... Well, Malthael... Okay, so Malthael has a very, very good matchup into Leoric. Once Last Rites comes online, Leoric starts really struggling versus Malthael, so that ban makes sense there. Okay. So still a lot of comforts coming out here from Heavy Slaps. Cowboy Kyle has got to figure out what they're going to put against Leo in the top lane. It's going to be a Dahaka. Not one that we see an awful lot here on Dragonshire, as the top lane tends to stay there for all eternity. Maybe they've got something else in mind. Maybe they got something a little more rotational. Alright. Dragonshire, game number 2. Zildjian Distillery trying to bring things back. Heavy Slaps trying to close things out. Let's see which team comes out on top. Here we go. Alrighty. Game number 2. On the left in the blue, once again, we have Zildjian Distillery. DeWitt playing the ETC. Cowboy Kyle is on Dahaka. Be Fresh is playing Raynor. Led is on the Uther. And Ankleshot is playing the Li Ming. On the right in the red, we have Heavy Slaps with Machu on the Leoric. Frostbite is playing Varian. Lupus 64 on the Phoenix. Crazy Buttes is on the Brightwing. And Imbuement is playing Kael'thas.
4, 3, 2,
Video
1.
games is called in the chat. Video games shall be had. Phoenix once again looking for those Q stacks on 1. ETC wants globes. Uther going for the W quest on level 1. Raynor stacking up that trait. And Dahaka looking for the tissue regeneration, so going for the health rather than the speed. Heavy Slaps keeping vision on all 3 lanes for now. It looks like Zul'jin Distillery will decide to show in the mid. Heavy Slap's just going to go ahead and clear away this bottom lane, but here comes Lead and crew. Frostbite could be in some trouble here. DeWitt deciding not to commit as Ankle Shot and Lead were a little bit far behind, so they just want to go ahead and grab these orbs. B-Fresh pushing away Lupus in the mid lane. Cowboy Kyle going to be able to use the Burrow versus the Drain Hope of Leoric. So that's going to deny some healing for sure. DeWitt gets the slide onto Lupus. Not quite peeling away the shield of Phoenix. Leoric did take Ossian Renewal on 1, so even with Dahaka denying a lot of those Drain Hopes, we'll be able to use that activatable to get a little bit of healing. There's the stun onto Phoenix, forcing back the members of Heavy Slaps for now. DeWitt getting the slide onto Phoenix once again. B-Fresh trying to move forward. But Li Ming currently stuck in the bottom lane. Gonna have to watch out here. Level 4 not online, so we won't see the taunt from Frostbite just yet. Zul'jin Distillery is taking the left side siege camp. Right now, Heavy Slaps just focusing on the objective. Cowboy Kyle gets the drag onto Matthew, taking 4 shots from the cannon towers, and it looks like Heavy Slaps is coming in for the invade. Polymorph is good onto DeWitt. Right now, Frostbite on the point, but kind of separated from the rest of the team here. There's the stun coming out from Lead, the slide from DeWitt. Frostbite going to try to back away, charge back in, but it won't be enough. Varian goes down, and Zul'jin Distillery picks up the camp. DeWitt gets stunned out by Imbuement. ETC wants to find a slide, but will not find it. B-Fresh is still on the chase here, gets pushed back by the Living Bomb. Ooh, almost taken out by the Flame Strike, but Lead with the W gets the save. Dahaka going to control the top point for now, bottom controlled by DeWitt. So Heavy Slaps is going to have to watch for a quick dragon here. And taking advantage of that distraction here is Zul'jin Distillery. They're going for a camp steal. DeWitt trying to ward away Phoenix for now. Heavy Slaps starting to catch on, moving on back here. Camp stolen away by Zul'jin Distillery, taking advantage of the situation. Gladiator's Medallion, good usage there by Lupus, avoiding the stun. Meanwhile, Matthew taking back the top point here from Cowboy Kyle. Dahaka looking for another big drag. Lead and DeWitt now being chased down. No taunt just yet. Frostbite going to move on to the bottom point here, though. Here comes B-Fresh from the outside. Frostbite could be in some trouble. Layering the stuns a little bit, though, is Zul'jin Distillery. I'm not sure they would have had the kill anyway. But Frostbite's going to have to move back and tap up, while DeWitt tries to control this bottom point. Crazy Butte's coming on down, making this odd number fight. Lead gets the stun. DeWitt slides on through. B-Fresh is just wailing away with those auto attacks in the back line, avoiding the stun of Imbuement. Taunt is there onto DeWitt. ETC's going to have to start moving back. Ankle Shot in a bit of trouble here, slowed down by Frostbite. Lead coming in for the save. Ankle Shot managing to back on out of there with, I think, 37 health I saw? Goodness me. Meanwhile, brawling away here is Cowboy Kyle and Matthew. It's going to take a while for either one of these players to push the other off the point. And Heavy Slaps is going to threaten Dragon Knight as level 7 comes in for both squads. Very even on XP so far. Mercenaries and hero kills going over to XGD for now. Slightly ahead on minions is Heavy Slaps. DeWitt sliding on through. Oh, Lupus loses the shield, and there goes Phoenix. Second kill of the game here for Zul'jin Distillery. DeWitt trying to find Imbuement, but Frostbite with a really nice taunt allows Kael'thas to slip on by. Leoric trying to clear away these minions, will not be able to channel the Dragon Knight as Dahaka picked up that top shrine. B-Fresh moving forward, trying to get a quick dragon, but Frostbite is here for the interrupt. Lead trying to stop this. DeWitt slides on through. B-Fresh putting some damage onto Varian. Taunt is there onto ETC. And we do have a dragon picked up in the background. B-Fresh found the opportunity, and it's going to start pushing down the middle lane here. Usually you don't see teams try to get a quick cap in the background, as it usually gets interrupted, but being able to sneak one in there. This dragon going to be trying to clear out this mid fort. Gets a tower, or gets a cannon tower and a half. Taken out very, very quickly. Alright, now Lupus is trying to solo take this Bruiser Cramp. Crazy Butte's gonna have to come on up and help out. Imbuement, mounted up near the wall, gonna avoid the rotation of Zul'jin Distillery. Looks like XGD is thinking about taking this neutral Bruiser Camp. DeWitt peeling away from the outside. Heavy Slaps just clearing the mid lane. Brightwing finishing off the Bruiser Camp, so it looks like Zul'jin Distillery is going to manage to pick this up. Heavy Slaps is going to work on their Siege Camp. That's probably where they think that XGD is, but they're going to see that they were down in the bottom lane grabbing that Bruiser Camp. And Cowboy Kyle's going to need some help up here. Dahaka has some legendarily bad wave clear versus camps, especially ones with spell armor. So hopefully someone from XGD goes and helps that out. Heroics coming in for pretty much both squads here. There it is. It is going to be the Mosh Pit, the Disintegration Beam. It is Divine Shield coming out for Uther, the adaptation from Dahaka, and Raynor picking up the Hyperion. There's the taunt onto ETC, gets the cleanse, and DeWitt will manage to walk away here. Meanwhile, in the top lane, B-Fresh did come on through with Cowboy Kyle. The drag is denied by the Gladiator's Medallion, and Leoric will walk away for now. This could be trouble here for XGD. Heavy Slaps is coming in hard. DeWitt and Ankle Shot gonna have to start backing off, and they're gonna have to give away this camp as B-Fresh is in the top lane trying to help clear away that top wave. So they're just gonna move ahead and clear these Siege Giants. Taking a look at the heroics of Heavy Slaps, it is the Purification Salvo, Entomb, the Shield Wall coming out for Varian. It is Emerald Wind for Brightwing, and the Pyroblast, once again, for Kael'thas. Leoric alone in the top lane is going to claim that shrine for now. Dahaka is starting to head back up there, though. B-Fresh just clearing away that middle wave, making sure they're not too far behind on the path to level 13. Ankle Shot going to get hit by the Purification Salvo, but with that spell armor survives the Pyroblast. So that's a couple ults down here for Heavy Slaps. Frostbite trying to control this point while Lupus finishes the channel, and that's going to be a Red Dragon Knight picked up for Heavy Slaps. Nice job picking up that second Dragon Knight of the game. DeWitt is going to get kicked. Oh, not quite into fort range. The slide is good, but Polymorph and Taunt are there. There's the Emerald Wind to peel away for Frostbite and Crazy Buttes. DeWitt could be in some trouble here, though, getting saved by the kick, actually. Frostbite causing havoc. Oh, there's the Divine Shield Mosh catching 3 in the background. Cowboy Kyle trying to get some work done. There goes Varian, there goes Kael'thas, there goes Brightwing. ETC killed in response, but that's a triple kill for Zul'jin Distillery. The Divine Cow combo comes up big for XGD. Jazzaline with the follow. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. Hope you're having a fantastic day. XGD gonna start pushing down the bottom lane here. They don't have much minion support, so they're not gonna be able to stick around for long. Quick stun onto Phoenix. Still has all the shields available, though. Ankle Shot just gonna go ahead and finish up that wall. Right side Siege Camp could be the next point of contention. Frostbite gonna start that up. And looks like Zul'jin Distillery gonna go ahead and move on back and start their Bruiser Camp on the left-hand side. Siege Camp picked up here by Heavy Slaps. We're going to see the Bruiser Camp picked up by Zul'jin Distillery. Actually not going to cap it here. Want to time it out with the objective, I suppose. Hopefully Leo doesn't come on down for that. Heavy Slaps is moving in with this camp, though, and DeWitt and Led are coming in from the outside. Dahaka able to warp on down at any point. Lupus taking huge damage from Ankle Shot. Dahaka dig is there. Crazy Buttes manages to get away with the warp. So that forces Dahaka down to the bottom lane. They could not quite find the kill onto Lupus 64.
It won't be long before the shrines.
We'll see what they can do with this push down in the bottom lane. Dahaka had taken the long route back to the top, going to clear mid along the way. Frostbite wants to find a squishy target there on the left-hand side. Looking for B-Fresh. The taunt is good onto Raynor, but there is the armor coming out. The Mosh onto 3, the Divine Cow for good measure. Imbuement trying to move back. Phoenix is going to be the first to fall. Ankle Shot looking for those resets. Cannot find the final kill with that laser beam. They do find Varian, though. That's another 2 kills for Zul'jin Distillery as these shrines are starting to come up. DeWitt not done, looking to find Imbuement in the backline. But Crazy Buttes is there for the save, and Zul'jin Distillery will claim their prize of this bottom fort. Dahaka pushing into Machu. Machu taking some big damage from this bruiser camp. Is going to have to start moving on back there. Dipping below 400 health briefly. Zul'jin Distillery possibly looking at a Dragon Knight here. Varian just now coming back onto the field. Ankle shot. I think has the space. Leo's not going to be able to grab that top point. And there it is. Level 16 here as well for Zul'jin Distillery. DeWitt taking a lot of damage there. It's a nice little chain combo from heavy slaps. Dragon once again going to push down this mid lane, being targeted by the fort. Varian booted away. DeWitt just trying to push back the DPS members of heavy slaps. Mid fort is going to go down here. Zul'jin Distillery. Oh, the slide is good onto Lupus, but the counter stun is going to force DeWitt to start backing off. Varian kicked up to the top lane. Purification salvo comes out from Lupus. Dragon Knight keeping those shields low onto Phoenix. And they're going to move down to the bottom lane and see what they can do. Dragon Knight still over 30 seconds left on it, over 50% health, so this push is absolutely still alive. Bifrost just peppering away that tower. Going to have to start backing off as their minion wave has now been taken down. Once again, Dragon Knight kicking away Frostbite. Just using that Flame Breath. Hyperion is committed here by Bifresh, trying to use that Yamato cannon to take out the last cannon tower. Looks like it will be successful. This Dragon Knight's about to expire. Oh, Li Ming going way deep. Ankle shot gonna have to be careful here. DeWitt going in. There's the Divine Mosh once again catching 2. You can't stun that. Brightwing is gone. Imbuement with the Pyroblast onto Ankle Shot, but there is the Spell Armor once again. And the big combo picking up a kill onto the healer of heavy slaps. DeWitt getting the slide. Phoenix is very low. The counter taunt. Oh, Li Ming take it out in the back. Imbuement with the big flank there. Counter stun by Lead. Bifresh just needed like one more auto onto Lupus, but Phoenix is still just hanging on. So the counter kill onto Li Ming is good, and heavy slaps aren't done. They're on the chase here. Frostbite taking a lot of damage. DeWitt wants the slide, finds the stun once again. The counter stun from Imbuement is good. Cowboy Kyle almost gets the drag onto Lupus 64. And neither team can figure out who's on the offensive here. It's back and forth and back and forth. But it looks like Zul'jin Distillery will finally back off. Starting up this bruiser camp, that's risky business. Heavy slaps, they know what they did it last time. DeWitt sees them coming. Gonna use the Encore to push them on back, and it looks like everyone will manage to mount up and get away. Frostbite's still on the chase. DeWitt managing to mount up. Oh, it's actually dismounted, but heavy slaps will not continue the chase here. That does give Zul'jin Distillery the opportunity to take out this left side siege camp, but bottom lane is going to be sieged hard here by heavy slaps. DeWitt once again looking for a flank. Dahaka starting to come down from the mid lane. Leo heading up top. Cleanse coming out as well. Heavy slaps is trapped here. DeWitt looking for the backline. The stunned invulnerable is there. The Divine Cow coming out onto 2. They want the kill onto Varian, and they will get it. The resets are starting to come through. Imbuement is the next target. Kael'thas is down. Lupus puts out the Purification salvo, but DeWitt taking the angle, finds the slide onto Crazy Buttes. The stun is good. The follow-up is there, and that's 3 kills for Zul'jin Distillery. They're going to start this push. They've got the bottom bruiser camp cleared away. Leo in the top lane, starting to push down this top fort. But Dahaka digs up and gets behind Machu. And we're going to see DeWitt taking this Dragon Knight, as Lupus and Machu are the only ones left on the battlefield. Actually giving it up to Ankle Shot here makes a lot more sense for sure. We're going to have a Dragon coming through. We've got a double stack of camps down here in the bottom lane. Are they going to join or are they going to split? It looks like they're going to join the siege camps. Is that the play? I think, it's a fine play. Bottom lane is the lane to soften up, so we'll go with that. I think I would have liked a mid lane push a little bit better, but you know what? You're kind of Do I want pocket kings or do I want pocket aces? That's what we're talking about right now. Bottom keep is taken out here. Heavy Slaps is back to full strength, and the Dragon Knight is still very healthy. Taunt onto ETC is good. There's the cleanse onto DeWitt as well. Dragon Knight down to half health, starting to work on this core. Meanwhile, in the background, there's the Divine Cow. There's the Mosh onto 3. Manages to catch Phoenix on the retreat. Leo is going to go down first, and Bumit sends out the Pyroblast. Purification Salvo onto the members of XGD, but this core is just getting pummeled. And Zul'jin Distillery picks up game number 2. We're going to game 3. GG. So the mega push works out. Stacking those camps along with the Dragon Knight, the rest of the team, they found level 20, and Zul'jin Distillery forces a game 3 in this series. 12 kills to 3 coming out for XGD. Ankle Shot leading the way on the siege damage, piloting that Dragon Knight, coming out on top, 51,000 hero damage on the Li Ming. Meanwhile, for Heavy Slaps, it was Kael'thas playing, or Imbuement playing a fantastic Kael'thas, managing to get just ahead of Phoenix and Leoric, who both had just under 40k, and Imbuement had just over, so very even damage numbers coming out there from the red team. Very, very nicely done from both squads, but this time it was Zul'jin Distillery coming out on top. Quick check-in with the talents, and then we'll get set up for game number 3. All right, we are tied up. XGD strikes back. We are at 1-1. We're going to go to game number 3, but before that, we're going to go to the break. Don't go far. These teams are setting up the lobby, and we'll have the rubber match for you. Don't go far. Hello, and welcome back. It's going to be game number 3 between Zul'jin Distillery and Heavy Slaps. I was part of the draft for a minute there. Let them know that I'm ready. Alright, cool. It's going to be game number 3, and it's going to be on the spiciest of maps. Let's get into the map screen. Battlefield of Eternity, Volskaya Foundry, Tomb of the Spider Queen, and Infernal Shrines have been taken out for this series. Braxis Holdout was won by Heavy Slaps. Dragonshire won by Zul'jin Distillery. And we're finally going there. We're going to Hanamura Temple at the behest of Heavy Slaps. Let's jump into the draft and see just how many Artanuses our teams can pick. Oh, I love playing Artanus on Hanamura. You don't even interact. You just camp, camp, camp. Clear their camp, take my camp. Float around the map. Doing Artanis things. Swipe, swipe. XGD gonna once again ban away the Anduin that caused them so much strife there in game number 1. Heavy Slaps. Do they want to stick with the Ana Diva bans? Probably. It would make sense. There goes Ana. XGD. What did they ban away last time? The May. Are they gonna stick with the May ban? May they ban May? I feel like they gotta get rid of that Kael'thas. They're gonna stick with the May. See whether Phoenix and Kael'thas come through a third game here for Heavy Slaps. They will have the opportunity. Heavy Slaps gonna ban away the Diva once again, so just identical bans from the last game. And they're gonna steal the Kael'thas. Okay, so okay. That's another way that they could do it. Oh, there he is. Match, you pick it up, the Artanis. What a god. Read my mind. So Artanis will be the solo laner here for Heavy Slaps. Well, you don't spend a whole lot of time in lane. You're just bouncing around camps, man. Oh, so fun. Lupus gonna go ahead and pick up the Raynor rather than the Phoenix this time. Raynor does have a little bit more consistent camp clear, I would say, especially if you go with that Executioner on 1. Executioner, I mean, there's a lot of high-level pros that really dislike it, but, I mean, Hanamura Temple is all about single-target PvE. That's all it's about, and Raynor can provide so much of it with Executioner. I'd be surprised if Lupus doesn't go with it. DeWitt gonna grab the Diablo, and Be Fresh gonna be on the Phoenix this time, so they're just going ahead and stealing away that draft. That does set up a pretty nasty Wombo combo. I would love to see Heavy Slaps ban away Deckard here, because that's just, you know, you get the Stay a While into the APOC, Kael'thas throwing around the Living Bombs, the Purification Salvo from Phoenix, that's a big piece of damage. They're gonna ban away Lily. I guess they're worried about their damage being blunted on Raynor and Artanis. Maybe they're planning on picking Deckard. I would be a little disappointed if I saw Heavy Slaps not take the Deckard now. Definitely could. This isn't Deckard's greatest map because the fight locations move around so much, but it's a huge tool here that XGD could use to finish up their comp. Muradin going to be banned away by Zul'jin Distillery. Going to be forcing Frostbite onto a new tank here. ETC is available, Garrosh is available. You could do something like an Anubarak to try to negate the Kael'thas damage. So we'll see what Heavy Slaps will come up with. They've got the Raynor, they've got the Artanis. It's going to be ETC here for Frostbite, and Crazy Buttes is going to grab the Brightwing for a second game here. That leaves the Solo and the Healer. Show me the Deckard. I know this isn't the map. I mean, you could do a Stukov too, but I feel like you got to show me the Deckard here. That's you're building the combo, and while this isn't a big teamfight combo map, I mean, if you do it, you get the kills. Show me what you got, XGD. It's gonna be Yrel. It's gonna be Lucio. Lucio coming out for lead. All right. Lucio can absolutely do a whole lot of work. Very high tier healer right now, especially speeding up someone like a Diablo into the enemy squad. Big interrupts available onto ETC, being able to push back Artanis, who needs to be connected to a target to survive. And Bumit going to follow up with the Tychus. Alright. Tychus could definitely do some big burn onto Diablo in the front line. And finally see Yrel hit the battlefield. So, here's game number 3, Zul'jin Distillery versus Heavy Slaps. I don't know, man. I love Artanis so much. Artanis is so good! Here we go, game number 3, XGD versus Heavy Slaps, Hanamura Temple. Let's go. Alrighty, here we go. Game number 3, Hanamura Temple. On the left in the blue is Zul'jin Distillery with DeWitt on the Diablo. Be Fresh is playing Phoenix. Ankle Shot is on the Kael'thas. Cowboy Kyle is playing Yrel, and Lead is on the Lucio. On the right in the red, we have Heavy Slaps with Imbuement on the Tychus, Crazy Buttes on the Brightwing, Lupus 64 on the Raynor, Frostbite 027 playing ETC, and Machu on the Artanis. Here we go, game number 3. Maestro Cast coming in with the follow. Thank you very much for the support. Hope you're having an excellent time. Teams are meeting down here in the bottom lane. Eric 2000 forever. Is that 200 forever or 2,000 forever? I read that as 2,000 forever. Thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're enjoying your time here with XGD versus Heavy Slaps. Checking in on those level 1 quests. Kael'thas looking for globes. Lucio looking for time on the speed boost. Frostbite not quite finding the slide onto Be Fresh, as Phoenix going to be looking for those Q stacks. DeWitt going to try to find a pick here, but these lanes are so wide and there's so little architecture that Diablo can have a little bit of trouble before level 16 actually finding a target. DeWitt being burned down by Imbuement. Frostbite may not get out of here. Brightwing gets the warp in, and Diablo's going to go down first. Can Fresh find the kill onto Frostbite? No. Phoenix is going to have to move back, and that's Heavy Slaps picking up the first kill. And Matthew, right at the 1 minute mark, is all over this top right boss. We're going to see Lupus moving to the top lane to make sure that no XP is lost. And this is the Artanis strat. This is what you do. You just bounce Artanis between the camps. You send the rest of your team to go and clear the vision, while your secondary DPS holds down the top lane. Meanwhile, left-hand side, we're going to see XGD doing something very similar. Sending their squad to clear away the boss, leaving the tank in lane. We're going to see Artanis heading back to the top lane. The rest of Heavy Slap's going to commit to the turret camp, actually. Zul'jin Distillery going to go ahead and clear out this vision camp first before heading up to the turret camp. Cowboy Kyle going to try to clear away this wave. Or this boss, I should say. Ankle Shot going to come in and try to help out. The swipe onto the minion wave takes out the entire thing. Cowboy Kyle a little bit low on health here. Going to have to start backing away. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, the slide onto Fresh is good. Boss is still alive. Gets the swipe onto the wall, but will go down here. Zul'jin Distillery pushed back. Top lane, pretty similar situation on damage so far. Zul'jin Distillery is going to try to focus on the site camp before moving on to the turret camp on the left, as I expected them to do before, but I was mistaken. We're going to have the payload spawning in about 20 seconds here. What monster picked this map? This was Heavy Slaps selection. Oh, Ankle Shot is actually picked off. Heavy Slaps with a big rotation here, seeing that the turret camp was not taken away. Go ahead and get the invade, but here comes Cowboy Kyle getting the pushback on the point. Frostbite able to slide back on. Led gonna have to try to get away here. Fresh is back on the battlefield. Yrel is gonna go down. DeWitt somehow surviving, at least until then. Diablo taken out. Fresh now being chased out, manages to avoid the power slide of Frostbite. And they drop a turret, take a turret, as the payload stands waiting. Zul'jin Distillery going to move down to the bottom lane while Heavy Slaps gets work done here in the top lane. Completely ignoring the payload for now. That's pretty much what you do. I mean, the payload is only going to do exactly what the team's doing right now, which is just getting a little bit of siege damage. But now with Cowboy Kyle and DeWitt back on the field here for the defense, Brightwing going to warp up to the top lane to try to help out the team, but they're going to go ahead and back off as Zul'jin Distillery, with only 2 members, gets a pretty good push down here in the bottom lane. Frostbite is on the chase. Fresh moving around the outside. Ankle Shot may not be so lucky here. Led gets the pushback. The stun is good, but Kael'thas is going to go down. Fresh manages to get away. Frostbite still managing to survive here. Zul'jin Distillery looking a little shaken right now. Heavy Slaps is moving around this map very confidently, going in for a boss steal while Ankle Shot is down. Fresh and DeWitt see it, but here comes Matthew. And now DeWitt, now they're a little bit stuck. DeWitt manages to get onto the point. Here comes Cowboy Kyle as well. DeWitt gonna go down. There's the knockback from Yrel. Oh, and they managed to catch it. So XGD defends their point. Lupus trying to get away from Cowboy Kyle here, looking for the leap resets. Somehow Rainer's still alive. Fresh gets wants just one more Q hit, but Crazy Buttes warps in for the save. Artanis may not be so lucky. Matthew manages to get away. Heavy Slaps with the big invade. They don't manage to pick up the boss, but they put on some big pressure, and now they have the room to push this payload. Zul'jin Distillery pushing through the bottom lane with this boss that they did manage to pick up. And they will halt the payload as well, right in the middle of this lane. Artanis already on the top right boss, so this is an advantage for Zul'jin Distillery. Frostbite getting stunned left and right. Boss still alive here as the Heavy Slaps tank is taken out. Zul'jin Distillery looking for some fort damage, already down to about 75% health here. Boss still alive. Oh, a big stun onto Lupus. Pushback onto Rainer. Oh, 15 health before Crazy Buttes comes in with the save somehow. Ankle Shot finishing off that bottom fort. Matthew somehow able to survive as well. DeWitt cannot be denied except by Crazy Buttes. Imbuement, oh my gosh, everyone's at like 1 health. I think at least 17 people almost died in that fight. That was about my count there. But Artanis, with that boss capture earlier, Zul'jin Distillery was stuck in that bottom lane for quite a while. Top fort's gonna go down. So we're now back on even fort counts. Checking in on the experience. It's the hero kills that are keeping Heavy Slaps in the lead for now. They're starting to fall a little bit behind on those minions. So if the next team fight doesn't go their way, Zul'jin Distillery could absolutely catapult into the XP lead here. XGD gonna pick up their turret. Right now, Cowboy Kyle still working on the clear in the top lane. Heavy Slaps taking out the Vision Camp. Be Fresh, just trying to stall out this payload for the meantime. Just sitting on the edge here. Crazy Buttes warps in. Here comes Cowboy Kyle. DeWitt wants to find Frostbite, but the face melt is good. Now taking back this Vision Camp are the members of Zul'jin Distillery. Level 10 is here for Heavy Slaps. They want to find this fight before Zul'jin Distillery finds their heroics. It is the Hyperion, the Emerald Wind, the Suppression Pulse, Mosh Pit, and Odin coming in for Heavy Slaps. And they're going to go ahead and try to steal this boss. Zul'jin Distillery is a little bit too far away from 10 here. Cowboy Kyle tries to jump onto the point, but is a little bit late. Emerald Wind is out. Be Fresh is just perma-stunned, and Phoenix is going to go down. Ankle Shot with the movement speed from Brightwing, going to try to get away here. Or movement speed from Lucio, I should say. Sound Barrier arriving just in time. The Apocalypse comes out, but wiggling away is Heavy Slaps. So Phoenix goes down. They lose the boss. It's barreling down this keep wall. Checking in on the heroic options for Zul'jin Distillery. It is the Apocalypse, the Phoenix, the Sound Barrier, the Ardent Defender, and Be Fresh is still thinking about it on that Phoenix. Still thinking about it. Could be... It's going to be the Purification Salvo, so going with the big combo here. No Planet Cracker from across the map to be seen. Payload is available. Top right boss is available. But all the members of XGD are up, and they're on the chase here. They start this payload, Frostbite trying to ward away. Here comes XGD, now they want the clear. Emerald Wind is out, but Yrel managing to stay on top of the point. There's the Mosh onto 4 in the back. Ankle Shot somehow still alive. Kael'thas, oh, taken out in the background. Frostbite trying to get on out of there. Phoenix is just peppering them all up with that laser. There goes Diablo, but ETC killed in response. Cowboy Kyle is mowed down on the point. Be Fresh maybe next. A big swap from Machu seals the fate of the fellow Protoss. Led's still alive. Lucio gonna try to speed boost on out of there. Will most likely be just fine. Machu on the chase. Will not chase, indeed. They're gonna go for this top keep. Heavy Slaps looking fantastic here in game number 3. DeWitt, oh, gets the flip onto Artanis and the push. Machu trying to get away here, stunned by Ankle Shot. There's the Phoenix follow-up, gonna force Artanis on back. Hyperion gonna get some damage onto this keep wall while the boss pushes in. DeWitt looking for a stun, but will not find it, has to back on out of there. And we're starting to see Heavy Slaps getting a pretty big XP lead here, about to breach level 13. They're going to steal away this turret camp. There's the Apocalypse, but knocked around is DeWitt. Will not find the follow-up flip. Machu, once again, Crazy Buttes with a huge save on the warp in. Cowboy Kyle gets the triple stun, but is being mowed down by Imbuement. DeWitt in the front line, doing as much as they can, but will go down here. Cowboy Kyle trying to peel away for the rest of the squad. There's Be Fresh throwing out the Purification Salvo. Can they get the fadeaway kill onto Imbuement? No, they can't. And that level deficit showing its ugly head there. A lot of very low members of Heavy Slaps, but none taken out here by Zul'jin Distillery. They're just going to have to try to clear these waves, find even Talontiers, and put their hopes in the next fight. Heavy Slaps has done a fantastic job controlling the mercenary pace so far. Staying on top of these heal camps, or these vision camps that give just so much experience. Zul'jin Distillery, knowing they're down levels, they want to keep an eye on things. DeWitt's going to go ahead and start it up. They see the turret camp has been taken. They know they've got to hurry. Heavy Slaps is coming across the map. Payload is tripped, but Zul'jin Distillery will manage to get the... Excuse me. Will manage to get the boss pushing before moving on to the payload. Let's start moving it back a little bit. Heavy Slaps. They're going to go for the invade. It looks like they're just going to go ahead and clear away this boss and let the payload push a little bit further. They've definitely got a lot of time before the payload reaches the final destination. Boss taken out here by Heavy Slaps. Still up 14 to 12. Looks like Zul'jin Distillery is setting up a party bush here. Ankle shot showing on the bridge. Matthew getting the check here. Sound barrier is out along with the Apocalypse. This could be trouble for Lupus in the background. Manages to pop the armor and start walking away. Cowboy Kyle is on the chase. Frostbite catching Diablo in the dance. But it will be Brightwing going down here. Kael'thas killed in response. Lead gets pushed back by Frostbite. That's a double kill for Heavy Slaps. And now the chase continues. DeWitt in the backline trying to push back imbuement. There goes Diablo. The souls are going to reset DeWitt. But Diablo's going to have to start soaking those lanes to get those souls back. So Zul'jin Distillery not quite getting the full gank that they wanted. They managed to get the kill onto the enemy healer, but they suffered 2 losses in response. And now, once again, Artanis just solo taking this top boss, doing what Artanis does here on Hanamura. Crazy Buttes warping in, saving the gank onto Frostbite. Zul'jin Distillery wants a fight before level 16, but it's about to be here. Diablo having to pop the medallion to try to get on out, and there it is, level 16. XGD's gonna have to start moving back. Medallion once again out for Frostbite. Looking for a slide. Matthew gets the flip onto Cowboy Kyle. The polymorph is good, and they manage to execute Yrel. There's the sound barrier. Not quite landing on the target that they needed. And we're going to see Heavy Slaps now with a 3-level lead, pushing down the payload and pushing down this bottom fort. Managed to get that taken out. Crazy Buttes just saving the payload to make sure it didn't waste any shots on that bottom fort. Be Fresh trying to clear away this turret camp before it is invaded by Heavy Slaps, but Heavy Slaps is going to focus on the bottom lane here with another boss steal. Phoenix grabs the turret in the top lane, but it'll be Heavy Slaps with the Hyper Ninja in the bottom lane, as the payload is punishing this bottom keep. Looks like the keep will be taken out here as Matthew and crew push it on forward. Boss gonna cleave down this turret and start moving towards the core. Looks like Heavy Slaps does not want to push their luck. This late in the game, if they have an ill-timed push and give up a bunch of catch-up experience with the kills, that will definitely put Zul'jin Distillery back in this game. But taking a look at those hero kills, 16 to 3 so far coming out for Heavy Slaps. It is Tychus dealing the lion's share of the damage there for Heavy Slaps. Phoenix doing some work there for Zul'jin Distillery as well. Heavy Slaps is threatening core here. They're just going to move down this bottom lane. They've got 2 catapults stacked up. Matthew moving ahead, getting this wave cleared. Zul'jin Distillery clearing that top wave. They're going to come on down for the defense. But Heavy Slaps just feigning, just throwing some jabs in. Giving him some pepper, apparently. That was a pretty loud voice line there by Rainer. Top boss is spawning just about now, so we're going to see, once again, the macro pressure of Heavy Slaps right on time here in the top lane. Now Zul'jin Distillery, all they really need now is level 16. They want to find 16 and they want to find a fight. That's really their path back into this game. A couple more waves should do the trick. They don't have the opportunity to access those site camps. And now they're down 3 levels. So they're going to have to defend a little bit safely, as the boss is going to be pushing down this top keep that's already softened up. Almost certainly they're going to be losing this keep with this push. But they need to make sure that they stay alive. Their only chance in this game is to find level 16 and find a fight. There's the Hyperion. This keep is absolutely toasted. Wit flipped in. There's the polymorph, the follow-up stun, and Diablo just absolutely executed. Frostbite catching 2 in the mosh pit. Led cannot get away. There goes Urel. Ankle shot and B-Fresh are on the retreat, and I think this is going to be game. Core pushed in here by Heavy Slaps. The shielding is gone. The boss is still very healthy, and it is Heavy Slaps taking the series 2-1 and recording their first match victory of NGS Season 10. GG. There you have it, the crowning game on Hanamura Temple. Heavy Slaps picks up the victory and goes on to the 2-1 series victory over the undefeated Zueljin Distillery. 19 kills to 3 in that game for Heavy Slaps, and Beaumont leading the way on the hero damage at 53.5k. Phoenix, played by B-Fresh for Zueljin Distillery, dealing out the 38,500. Not too far behind there was Ankle Shot at the 38,000 as well. But ultimately, just the map control, the vision control, and the chain CC coming through for Heavy Slaps, getting 7 kills onto Diablo throughout that game, sealing the victory and sealing the series. Take a quick look at the talents, and then I'll see if I can find us an interview with our victors. Alrighty. We did it. We got through the series. I'm going to see if we can find us an interview. Type to the captain there. Oh, they're not accepting whispers. What a shame. Find someone else from the squad here. NGS, where are you? There we go. Let's find anybody. No. How do I just whisper somebody? Why is whispering friends so hard? Let's see if we can get maybe Crazy Buttes. Not there. Matchu? Anybody? What is going on? There we go. Frostbite.
Hello. How you doing?
Good job, guys.
Great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Had our first match win, so it feels pretty good.
First match victory here in week number 4. That's got to feel fantastic, taking out the undefeated Zueljin Distillery there.
That is news to me because I just leave all the scouting up to our captain, but that's pretty big news.
Yeah, coming in 6-0 was Zueljin Distillery into this matchup. Now, taking a look at game number 1 there, going to Braxis Holdout. That was the second most winning map there for Zueljin Distillery, and you brought the match there. Did you have a plan going in there, or did you feel like that was your best shot at XGD?
So when we went there, we felt like teamfight is a pretty big part of our identity. So without giving away all the secret sauce, it just felt like we wanted to face them somewhere where teamfight was impactful, where we could snowball if the opportunity presented itself. And we cleaned up some like picks and deaths to make it a pretty good late game.
The late game was definitely where you shined there. The early game, it looked like Zueljin Distillery was putting together a pretty technical Braxis holdout victory, just grabbing the early game, snowballing the objective. But then things started to turn around in the mid game there. What were the comms like on your end when you were looking to make sure that it wasn't another one of those classic 9-minute Braxis victories?
Very good question. The way they were structured, I've been trying to pick up some Garrosh myself, and what I noticed with Garrosh is that his window of execution, high value, but it's very small. And if you miss that, then it's easier to punish. So with more mobility I had on Muradin, with the ranginess of Pyroblast, we were able to just kind of absorb that initial crash and then push back after those big cooldowns were used.
Yeah, we definitely saw some key adjustments coming out versus the Garrosh, and like you said, they found that execution window a couple times, but it was pretty slim out there. And managing to turn those fights, seeing Imbuement getting those big counter stuns at exactly the right time, I felt like was really, really key in that matchup.
Absolutely. And just big shout out to the whole team. But that's something we're pretty proud of because when we brought him on, he was initially a sub and then eventually made his way to the main roster. That was something that we felt was pretty undervalued. Just the consistent stuns that are piercing and can lift him up for a good while. So it's a really good defensive tool, very good counter engage tool, like you said, and just mechanically the play was there and the timing was there. So kudos to him.
Talk to me a little bit about Phoenix. We saw Phoenix come out in game number 1, and I was thinking, okay, Phoenix comes out on Braxis sometimes, a pretty huge wave clear tool with Planet Cracker sometimes, but then it was the Salvo, and then it was picked up in multiple games. Is there something about Phoenix that really clicks with your team? Is that a comfort pick coming out from Lupus, or is there something that you feel the rest of NGS is missing about Phoenix?
I can't speak for the entire division, but the value that we were able to get on that particular matchup was we needed the wave clear, we needed the sustain, especially on Braxis. So, having those shields for days and days, it enabled us to stay there. I was living just bot lane, didn't have to back with Muradin, so that was nice because I had that third win just coming in.
All right, definitely very strong performance there. Now, Hanamura game number 3. This was the most played map for your team so far. Unfortunately, it was 0-2 until tonight, but that looked like a very sound and practiced strategy there on Hanamura with the Artanis moving around, covering those lanes looked very, very crisp. It looked like, so when Hanamura gets voted in, the beginning of the season, Sky Temple's out, Hanamura's in. Is that something where, as a team, where you look at, we want to jump on that before anyone else can make this map standard?
That's an interesting question. I think the way we looked at it was, again, we love our team fight, and the hotspots are pretty well defined on that map, right? You're going to go Samurai, you're going to go Turret Camp, and if those are off, then you're only going one place. So we trusted in our ability to get a little bit of side soak. We had the Brightwing at times in the lane. We had Artanis just taking either down the enemy Samurai or just taking our own very quickly. So we just played the map correctly, I believe, and it really showed in our rotations.
Absolutely. It was just controlling the map at all the right times, had a ton of lane pressure throughout the game, and it really felt like more of a... I mean, the team fights were absolutely there, but it was the map control, getting the levels, and just making sure that XGD always had to make a choice on where to go. I was really, really impressed there with game number 3. Very well done.
Thank you so much.
The last hero I want to talk about that was surprisingly missing today for me was Chromie. Now, Chromie I've been doing Storm Division every week. I've done some of the higher divisions, and Chromie is just a monster up there. Always Absolutely. Either picked or banned. Do you feel like it's just... What do you feel is missing from Chromie in terms of your game plan that you weren't interested in bringing Chromie in today?
So especially with the third map, we're rotating a lot, we're repositioning, and they had a really strong dive, like Diablo and Ural were all over us. We felt that something that was more artillery based probably wasn't the play. We wanted the ability to, push them off of us, have those stuns you saw with the Kael'thas, and just the ability to play a little bit faster. Chromie lets you, just kind of own a tunnel, but there's so much, space in the middle to roam on Hanamura, so we want to be able to fully exploit that.
Okay, so favoring the mobility over the sit and siege, I think that worked out pretty well. So fantastic work there for sure.
Thank you so much.
All right. So once again, congratulations, 2-1 victory, first victory of NGS. Are there any shout-outs you'd like to make before we close things out here?
Absolutely. First and foremost, shout out to my team. We've been a work in progress and just never losing hope, always like keeping our heads in the game and just getting better without being toxic to each other. It's very valuable, pleasure to play with them. And secondly, definitely straight out to our opponents. They really pushed us, and honestly, like really strong, just GG series. Must have been really fun for folks on the stream to watch. And thirdly, last but not least, thank you for having us on your stream.
Oh, my pleasure entirely. It was a fantastic one to cast. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how you do in the season going forward. Good luck and congratulations.
Thank you so much.